Hey gamers, Aksu here. Are you trying to organize materials in your base? Not sure what these are? This video is for you. In this video, I'm going to review strategies to quickly store items and use circuits within your base. These will help you get back to your adventures more quickly and manage the flow of materials to and from your crafting stations. Everyone has various ideas for how to organize their stuff and different tolerance levels for inventory chaos. However, I think we can all agree that both search and find and matching games across your many storage containers, that's no fun. Here's what I do. For all of those raw resources such as ore, this stuff is really heavy and it eats up storage space. So obviously larger storage containers will make life a lot easier. Because of the extreme weight and how you collected the materials, you'll most likely be unloading these from your vehicle storage. You can conveniently access your vehicle storage from any storage container within your base. This mechanic makes your vehicle a great intermediary for transferring any heavy or large quantities of material between different locations within your base. For those refined resources such as ingots and cobalt paste, they remain very heavy and they're not yet finished products, so you're going to want a number of storage containers for these as well. For miscellaneous components, I like to have storage containers that are dedicated for quick deposit. In these containers, simply collect partial stacks of each item. Now you can simply target the container, tap quick deposit, and all matching items in your backpack will auto stack into the container. No need to even open the storage. And if you've looted a new item, simply add it to one of your quick deposit containers, and you'll be set for auto stacking next time. Quick deposit really is the fastest way to unload your backpack. When unloading your vehicle storage, there is no quick deposit option, so for components, I've organized my deposit containers into different tiers so that I can simply use the material tier icon in the upper right to quickly decide if the component matches the destination container. And then when I find a full stack of materials in one of my deposit containers, I simply move the full stack out to overflow storage. When you're using the quick deposit mechanic, you want to be careful that your unloading chests never contain items that you don't want automatically sucked out of your backpack. So critical inventory items such as ammo, medkits, leader johns, vehicle fuel cells, those kinds of things, it's wise to instead designate a separate storage area for items of these types that you may have, that you don't want quick deposit to pull out of your inventory. It's that time, guys. Please help support the channel by subscribing. You can also leave a like or comment, which really does help with the algorithm. And if you happen to be interested in live gameplay, I do stream weekly on Twitch, and I really do appreciate your support. Thank you so much, guys. Now let's talk about circuits. Circuits allow you to control how materials and finished goods flow within your base. On your storage containers and your crafting stations using the storage tab, you'll see these two boxes. They aren't really labeled in a helpful way, so at first they seem pretty confusing. An example will be the quickest way to illustrate how these are used. Let's look at an ore refinery. On the left side, we can set the input circuit. This will be the circuit where the refiner will pull materials from as input for the refining process. Now to make the raw materials available for the refinery, we need to set the appropriate storage container to have a matching output circuit on the right side. And just like that, we've established a logical path for materials to flow out of storage and into a refinery. We can also then route the refined materials to separate storage containers, potentially using a different circuit. Finally, we can extend the example to finished goods crafting. We can set the input circuit on a weapons fabricator in such a way that it will draw all of the needed materials from storage containers with matching output circuits. Now I think it's pretty easy to see how you can set up discrete paths for material to flow. We can now see that by using circuits, we can minimize or eliminate search and find interactions with our unfinished crafting materials. And for this reason, a little chaos in your storage containers might be acceptable. Output from the crafting station will first be stored in the crafting station itself, with the output circuit only engaging to handle overflow. If you prefer that the crafting output be moved directly to a storage container, you simply need to fill the storage on the crafting station with filler items. I do this for refineries where the output is still component level products, and I prefer the return to storage pools that other fabricators can pull from. For crafting stations producing finished products, such as the weapons or garment fabricators, I prefer the output remain on the crafting station where I can simply pick it up directly. And another thing to be aware of is that if all of the storage on a destination circuit is full, the crafting station will simply pause production. As we can see, we just have a limited number of circuits to work with, and each circuit is treated as a pool, meaning if you have multiple containers assigned to the same circuit, you may not have explicit control for which container a material will flow into. Remember though, when properly set up, a little chaos can be okay. Even for crafting stations with lower level access requirements, a player must be at least co-owner level of the fief to change circuits on the crafting station. With all of this knowledge, it's possible to set up access permissions, multiple crafting stations, circuits, and storage to better enforce how materials can be utilized and reduce the hassle of organizing your stuff. When you're using your construction tool, materials like granite and plastone, those will be pulled from storage containers that match the Sub-Fief console's input circuit. If you find you can no longer build with materials on your base, perhaps the input circuit number on your Sub-Fief console was changed. Those filler items that we talked about in your crafting station storage, they can be removed by anyone with access to the machine, and then any output from the station will remain on the machine. This effectively short circuits the assigned output storage where you may have set up different access levels. This means that any player with machine access, they could always intercept the output of any crafting that's in process, though your input material setup will remain safe. A bad actor could even replace the filler items after taking the crafting output. Alright, I hope you found this video to be helpful. Please be sure to check out my other videos. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.